Rafael Lovato Jr. and welcome to your third video in the 4-part Science of the Game video series. You guys have seen some great stuff so far. In the first video we looked at some of my favorite ways to escape side control. In the second video we talked about transitions, alright, and how to stay one step ahead of your opponent. And I showed you guys one of my favorite sequences going from the sweep to the pass all the way to mount. Alright? Now in this video we're going to look at one of my favorite submission attacks from the guard. Alright? We're going to talk about the Omoplata. The Omoplata for me has been one of my best techniques. Whenever I was younger and I was training with bigger guys, I was a guard guy obviously because everyone was bigger than me. And when I found the Omoplata and I learned the Omoplata and I really started bringing it to my game, I fell in love with it because being smaller, a lot of times it was hard for me to find good ways to sweep somebody. Alright? I started competing in the ultra heavy division because I was a big kid. In the juvenile division, if you're over 180 pounds, it's all weights. Alright? It's like the ultra heavy. And so even though I was a big kid, there was a lot of kids that were bigger than me. And so I remember falling in love with the Omoplata because it gave me a great alternative to trying to sweep somebody. Alright? Sometimes they're so heavy, base is so low, and you just can't get the sweep. Alright? The Omoplata allows you to attack with an angle. Alright? And there's no stack like there is in a triangle or an armbar. And so the Omoplata became one of my favorite techniques because I could find the Omoplata much easier than I could triangles, armbars, or sweeps. And then the Omoplata became one of my best sweeps. Well, as I got older, I learned more transitions to help me make the Omoplata more of a strong submission. Alright? Because a lot of times you get the Omoplata and it's so hard to finish from there. But I have a really nice transition I'm going to show you guys off the Omoplata to help you stay submission hungry and attack and eventually finish them. Okay, so let's go over one of my favorite Omoplatas and talk about this position and how I like to transition to the submission. So, to do this we're going to use the guard, spider guard. I'm going to go over real simple here. Most people will approach grabbing both of your legs. In this case, I'm going to immediately grab both of their sleeves. You notice how I keep my knees tight, so when they grab my legs, I'm in position to grab their sleeves. Okay, I'm in good distance here. Immediately, first thing I want to do is circle one of my legs to the inside and bring that foot onto the bicep. When I extend this leg, it will naturally make me twist a little bit to that side. And from here, now there's space. This arm becomes weaker, and I'll be able to kick and break that grip off my pants. Okay? Now, one of the most common things people will do once they lose a pant grip is go for the collar grip, just like this. Alright? Everyone wants to keep hold of something, and he knows better than to leave his arm out. So he's going to grab my collar and look to keep his elbow in. From here now, I'm going to keep this leg extended, and I have a really nice way to break this grip off here. I'm going to use my foot on the floor to scoot away a little bit, give me a little bit of extra room, and now I'm going to circle my knee to the inside. As I turn back to the center, I'm going to open my leg and kind of lean my upper body back and break that grip off. Okay? This is one of my favorite grip breaks, and it will allow me to stay in a great angle for the Omoplata. As long as my leg is in between his elbow and his ribs, I can attack the Omoplata. Alright, there's room for me to go through that space. As long as he keeps his elbow in and my leg's outside, there is no Omoplata. I can try as much as I can, but he's going to always turn that elbow in and keep himself safe. So, this grip break here is one of the best ways to be able to attack the Omoplata at all times. Just get a little bit of space, bring that knee in, and pop it off. Now I'm going to come a little more to this angle, where I'm not all the way onto my side, but I'm a little bit, more facing him. Now I'm opening my leg against his arm. I'm pulling this tight to my hip. Have good tension on the other side. Now I'm ready to go. From here, I'm going to extend my leg right through his armpit. I'm pulling his arm down at the same time, just like this. Once my knee gets past his shoulder, I'm going to bend my knee and push his wrist down and bite my legs around his shoulder, just like this here. Okay? Notice how that brings his head down. Alright? This is my favorite way to get the Omoplata. It's much different than the way most people are used to attacking. when they start to go, they'll turn and bring their leg more to their head and lock the omoplata here. Well, you see how much higher his head is here. It's going to be very easy for him to posture up, lean back, and make it hard for me to sit up and get any real pressure against the back of his shoulder. So, the way I like to attack the omoplata involves using my knee more right here, okay? Right in the armpit. All right, at the same time, I'm going to push his wrist down at the sleeve. You see how that makes the bend? And it's also going to make his head come down. Okay? Now here I have the great angle for the omoplata. I can simply bring my leg over, start to grab his belt or his gi, look to sit up, and begin to start to scoot away and get into position where I can finish. But it doesn't always go so easily like that. Okay? The more you use the regular version of the omoplata, big strong guys, like I said, I was going against all the time, lean back, and get really strong, maybe stand if they stand. It's super hard, to get them back down and get to position to finish. So I kind of bypass bringing my leg all the way over his head, and I'm going to do something a little different and force more of like a monoplata position. This position you've seen guys like Marcelo Garcia use a lot. So let's go back there again. Here, we break the grip, scoot away, break the next grip, shoot the leg through, use our knee. From here, instead of bringing my leg over, I'm just going to stop right here. My knees are pinched. I'm going to slide this foot up a little bit higher behind the back of his neck because we're going to roll, and I don't want his back on top of my leg making it stuck. So I'm going to slide it up. From here, my hand is going to transition from the sleeve to cupping his elbow with my elbow around his wrist. I'm going to lean back and get onto my elbow. And all I'm going to do now is just rotate my hip. And he's going to be forced into rolling, otherwise he's going to hyperextend his arm. So from here I'm going to come up and force him to roll. Okay? Let's turn a little bit. So now we land just like this. I have his elbow cupped here. My leg is behind his neck. You see now that if I didn't move my leg up, he would be laying on top of my leg and I'd be kind of stuck. Alright? I maintain my foot on that bicep to keep that arm neutralized, and I'm squeezing my knees around his shoulder. From here now, I'm going to transition and use my other hand to cup behind his elbow, just like this. And I want to have a constant pull here, rotating his shoulder, putting some pressure there, and keeping this tight against my body. From here now, I'm going to stretch my leg out. Okay, I'm going to extend my leg, and I'm going to use my hand here, my elbow, and I'm going to scoop my hip towards my foot. And at the same time, I'm going to pull his arm over. That's going to cause the rotation and the hyperextension and make him tap. So I'm going to slide, pinch my knees, and you see how I'm pulling, and there's the hyperextension similar to a kimura. Okay? So I'm here tight, extend, I'm going to slide towards my foot, my knee will come up and bend a little bit, I add the pull on the elbow, and there's the tap. If I happen to get a little loose and his arm came out from around my body, I'm going to keep moving that direction and catch the armbar right here. Okay? And this is a very nice armbar because there's no chance for him to lock his hands and give me that fight where I have to break his grip. His arm's all the way over there. This arm is coming out directly in front of me so I can catch it at the wrist and be able to finish this armbar before he ever had a chance to really defend. Also, keeping my foot on the bicep is good insurance in case he's really strong and manages to come up. I can let my leg slide over and start to allow him to come up right into a triangle where I can finish with the choke or the arm. So I have a really nice, kind of three-part submission attack there. It's going to be nearly impossible for him to defend every single one of those. And this has been my most efficient and effective way in finishing from the omoplata. Okay? Let's do the whole thing again. Okay, so he's approached my guard. He's grabbing both pants. So remember, we're grabbing the sleeves immediately, bringing one of our legs into the bicep, extending, creating the angle in the space to break that grip off. We know he's going to grab the collar, so we scoot away, circle our knee in, pop that grip off. Now we're in the perfect position to attack the omoplata. since we're between the space of his elbow and his ribs. From here, I'm going to extend my leg through, pulling his arm down, bend and bite my knee on the back of the shoulder. Now, if I know this is the technique and the follow-up I'm going to do, I'm not going to waste any time here. All right? As soon as I bring his head down with my knee, I'm going to transition to cupping his elbow and getting up onto my elbow all at the same time. So here I'm ready to immediately roll. Now don't forget to slide this leg up. Very important. Slide that leg up, and now I'm going to make him or force him to roll over. Just like this. Okay? Now we're in the finishing position. Remember, once again, keep that foot on the bicep, pinch your knees together, and immediately I'm going to transition and pull my other hand around his elbow, and I'm turning. Make sure you don't grab the sleeve. Here I'm not going to get the same effect of rotating his arm. So actually cup deep around into the bend of his elbow so you can really pull that over. From here now, I'll extend my leg, keep my knees tight together, start to slide my hip, and pull his arm up against my body. Okay? And my leg here will raise a little bit, just like this. Here. There's the shoulder lock. Alright? Remember, once again, if you got a little loose and that arm happens to slide out, you can catch the wrist and immediately have the arm bar. Worst case scenario, if you got here and he was really strong and you didn't keep your knees tight enough, this is why I need to pinch my knee down to keep him down. But if I was a little loose and you try to come up, let that leg slide over. From here I can start to let him up and bring him right into a triangle or a triangle arm bar. Okay? So like I said, this is one of my favorite attacks from the guard. It gives me the option of, with the omoplata, just doing the normal omoplata, okay? Or if I feel like I have the angle and everything's just right, I'm going to continue and make him roll, because that position right there, it's pretty much a done deal whenever you get them flat on their back and you have the arm, the arm bar, the triangle, the shoulder, everything all together, okay? So that's usually my go-to, all right? That's helped me finish, with a much higher percentage from the omoplata than using the traditional omoplata. So I really hope you guys liked that one and enjoyed the techniques you've seen so far. We've gone over some great stuff. I'm really excited for you guys to see the final video. You guys are going to see, exactly how you can become involved in my private online coaching program. All right, up until this point, the only people who have been able to get inside are just, kind of like, insider opportunities for them to jump in. Now we're opening it up for everybody to be able to become part of my online coaching program. However, there are just going to be limited amount of spots. All right, and this is going to give you direct access to me. You're going to see all of my techniques. You're going to get to learn from me and all of my team, all my friends that come through and help me train. They're all going to be sharing their jiu-jitsu with you guys. And you guys are going to be able to go on this journey with me where I'm going to help you mold your jiu-jitsu game and take it to the next level. It's going to be everything from training, techniques from guard, top, how to drill, transitioning to private online classes where you can ask me questions, anything that you need help with, being able to ask me questions online and really just have me as a resource 24/7. So I'm really looking forward to this. I'm super excited about opening up to everybody now. I look forward to having a lot of members and being able to help you take your game to the next level. So keep your eyes out for that email. It's coming in the next few days. And you guys will see our final video. I hope you've enjoyed the techniques so far. And I'll talk to you again in a few days.